Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir à tous. First of all, thank you very much to ASCAME and to the Canadian Chamber in Italy for inviting me to this event, which I believe is very interesting and important, especially in this period of geopolitical uncertainty that we are living. I think it's very important to strengthen the relations between Canada and the Mediterranean countries. So I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Roberta Alberti, and I'm investment officer at the Consulate of Canada in Milan. Let me share my screen so you can see the presentation. Okay. I hope you can see it. Okay, so I'm investment officer at the Consulate of Canada in Milan, which was opened last year. Although I'm based up north in Italy, I'm part of the trade team of the Embassy of Canada in Rome. The embassy in Rome is responsible for diplomatic relations with Italy, but also with Albania, Malta, and San Marino. And we provide services to Canadian citizens living or traveling to these countries. And our ambassador is also permanent representative of Canada to the UN agencies that are based in Rome, such as FAO and the World Food Programme. So who we are? We are a team of 11 professionals with 3 investment experts, an expert in science, technology, and innovation, and trade commissioners that cover key sectors such as, for example, agri-food, aerospace, security and defense, automotive, ICT, life sciences, and clean tech. As the trade team of the embassy, we are part of the global network of the Government of Canada's Trade Commissioner Service, which is a network of professionals working in all Canadian embassies and consulates around the world. There are more than 160 offices around the world. So if you're, I cover Italy, Albania, Malta, and San Marino, but if you're based in another country and would like to reach out to your local trade commissioner, you can look on the website of the TCS, or you can reach out to me and I will be happy to connect you with my colleagues covering your country. As I said, the Trade Commissioner Service is around the world, but what are the mandates of this global network? Basically, we have 3 mandates. The first one is to support Canadian businesses to export their products and services abroad. The second one is to promote innovation and scientific collaborations. For example, we connect Canadian universities and companies with their counterpart in Italy in this case, but in all countries to do R&D activities. And the third mandate, which is the one I'm responsible for, and I'm going to talk a little bit more tonight, is investment attraction. So what we do, basically we support companies of all sizes and all sectors that are interested in setting up a business in Canada. And we support them by providing all the information that they need. For example, what are the legal options to incorporate in Canada, information on taxes and incentives, information on visa, work permit, international mobility, on labor market, availability of talent, but also, for example, on regulations such as labeling, etc. We can say that we are a one-stop shop for investors that are interested in working in Canada. And of course, the other strength of our service is that we can connect companies with a wide network of professionals in Canada and with government representatives at all levels, so from the federal to provincial to municipal level. So why Canada? I want to highlight 5 main reasons to invest in Canada, but first I would like to show you a short video that maybe is more effective. So, first, expanding to Canada means having access to the most educated workforce in the OECD. 63% of Canadian aged 25 to 64 has received tertiary level education. In addition to this, in 2022, Canada population growth rate was the highest among the G7, and it's expected that it will maintain this position in the coming years. In fact, in 2023, Canada's population reached historic 40 million people. Moreover, Canada gives great importance to diversity and inclusion, as we believe that diversity benefits Canada as a society and fosters innovation. The second reason that was mentioned in the video was the easy access to market. Canada offers an unparalleled market access. In fact, setting up operation in Canada not only gives you access to the 40 million Canadians, but also to a market of 1.5 billion potential consumers, thanks to the 15 free trade agreement that Canada participates in. Canada has free trade agreement, for example, with the European Union. CETA just celebrated its 7th anniversary in this September, and it greatly contributed to the growth of bilateral trade between European Union and Canada, and also had other positive effects, not only on the bilateral trade, but also, for example, on international mobility and on the mutual recognition of geographical indication and professional titles. But then, of course, there is another important partner for Canada, which is the US. Thanks to the CUSMA, it was called NAFTA, then was renegotiated and renamed to CUSMA, but basically gives access to 500 million consumers market. The United States is the most important commercial partner for Canada, of course. And you have to consider, for example, 75% of Canadians live within 300 kilometers from the US border, and most of the largest Canadian cities are located within a 1.5-hour drive from the US border. And most important, the trade value between the two countries is over 2.8 billion US dollars every day. So going back to the 5 reasons to invest in Canada, the third and fourth major Canadian assets are our commitment to innovation and to the environment. We believe that innovation is a driver for the economy, and the Canadian government has invested billions over the past years to help foster world-class innovation ecosystem. And moreover, is one of the countries in the G7 that offers most generous R&D incentives. Moreover, in 2018, the government of Canada launched the Global Innovation Clusters initiative to foster collaboration between public and private, between institutions, between companies and research institutions, to become leader in 5 strategic sectors, which are advanced manufacturing, artificial intelligence. Canada was one of the first countries in the world to launch a national artificial intelligence strategy back in 2017. The other key sectors are the ocean science and technologies, the plant protein industry, and finally the digital technologies. But I'll show you again a short video to provide you with more information on this initiative. Okay. And then there's a fifth reason to invest in Canada, and it is that it is one of the most stable countries in the world. Over the past decade, Canadian economy has proven to be one of the most resilient to shocks due to stable political landscape and smart regulatory environment. Moreover, Canada ranks among the top OECD countries for its attractiveness for entrepreneurs, thanks to its welcoming business environment and ease of doing business. What our companies often said is that, yes, there are rules, of course, there is bureaucracy, but it's easy to find all the information. And of course, if needed, we are always here to support. And then I would add a last reason to invest in Canada, which was not mentioned in the video. Excellent. So it's a very good place to live, and it's important because it's not only business, but it's a great place to live. And most of Canadian countries rank in all the rank as a best place to live. So I hope to have provided you with an overview of why Canada is an ideal place to invest. Here you can find my contacts. If you want to reach out, I'm happy to connect or to connect you with the trade commissioner of your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Roberta, for your presentation. So, Walter, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much. Let me just share the screen. I wasn't expecting to be second, but since we are here, okay. There we go. All right, so thank you very much for letting me share my perspectives on the collaboration between Canada and the Mediterranean region, and specifically in the area of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. Oops, sorry. Like I said, I wasn't prepared to do this.
We don't see your presentation.
Let me start resharing again. All right, I think you have it now. Hopefully you can see that now. Can you?
Yes, perfect. We can see it now. Perfect.
All right. Again, thanks. Thank you for having me here. All right. I will present to you, first of all, what AIoT Canada is all about, and then talk about the specific areas of collaboration. So AIoT Canada is an industry association advocating for the Canadian ecosystem of providers and adopters of products and services based on the artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. And our association also has in it investors, policymakers, and academia. We bring together our members to connect, interact, and learn to help amplify their effectiveness, influence influence national policies, reduce their risks, advance their international reach, and most importantly, contribute to Canadian growth and prosperity. So what is AIoT? This is a simple answer. It's the intersection between artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. But what does it really mean? And how does it impact the stakeholders that are in it? So let's begin by looking at the IoT architecture. In principle, the IoT architecture consists of the things on the right, which are physical things with embedded computing that makes them intelligent and autonomous. And they are connected together through connectivity based on the internet, primarily. And then, of course, there's an aspect to Internet of Things, which is the data analytics and control, which includes the data storage and data services, analytics, and applications. So this, in a nutshell, is the IoT architecture. But that's just the bits and pieces. How do we create value out of this architecture? Well, the value comes from the verticals where this architecture is applied. So by verticals, we mean areas or sectors like smart mobility or digital health or smart cities, advanced manufacturing, and many other areas where IoT, Internet of Things, is applicable. And we couldn't really create those bits and pieces in the architecture dimension, nor be able to apply them without a set of enabling technologies, whether it's from hardware innovations like semiconductors or software innovations. Of course, artificial intelligence and machine learning is part of that. And there's a whole bunch of other areas that enable or are necessary to create the architecture and the verticals. But not just that, there's also a bunch of impacted areas such as digital governance and socioeconomic impacts that are part of this whole IoT story. So as you can see, IoT has several dimensions, such as the architecture, the verticals, and the domains. And when you put them together, they create a space, the IoT space. You can't really talk about or navigate IoT without looking at it as a holistic space instead of just the architecture that most people talk about. So the question is, how does AI fit into the IoT space? Let's take an example of just the architecture piece. AI is clearly in the analytics and control, analyzing data, analyzing user behavior, embedded within applications. And you could possibly be excused to think that that's the only place where AI is present in IoT. But no, AI is also present in things on the right. More and more, there's AI purposed computing being embedded into physical things, whether it's autonomous vehicles or drones or doorknobs. So there's AI now in the things, making them more intelligent and giving them autonomy. And of course, the connectivity contains AI application as well to monitor data traffic, network performance, and make it more fault tolerant and resilient. And of course, the overall network management. And that's just one dimension. And you can go on and on about the verticals. And the truth is that AI is prevalent in this whole IoT space. And combined together, that intersection we call AIoT. And conveniently, we expand that to say it's the artificial intelligence of things. So as an organization, who do we actually serve? Well, we have a number of constituencies. You can see them here. So for example, our membership includes providers of AIoT, providers of those bits and pieces, the architectural pieces, the technologies that enable solutions. And also they provide integrated solutions as well. And then we have adopters of AIoT, those organizations that adopt AIoT for their operations, making them more efficient and also making them create new services, new products, creating greater revenue for them. And I can go around the circle, but I'm going to leave that to you after you see this video to go into the details of what each of these constituents are all about. So the question is, how do we serve them? In general, as I already mentioned, we serve them by enabling our members to connect, interact, and learn. And we do that through a number of services. We publish periodic newsletters to let them know what's happening in the industry. We hold webinars similar to this one that are presented by our members or other significant industry actors, again, to learn about AIoT, what everyone's doing, and also interact through Q&A. And we also facilitate education and training around AIoT to third-party, public and private trainers and educators. We also offer networking opportunities, physically and in person. Again, the objective is to connect them together, let them interact, so they get an opportunity to meet with potential partners, customers, and suppliers. And one other thing that we do in that space is hold an annual IoT Summit, which is a gathering of members and non-members, and includes industry and government leadership with fireside chats, presentations. We hold a roundtable on vital issues of interest to our membership. And of course, networking is a key part of that. We're also in the process now of developing a national AIoT strategy. And the objective of that is to advocate for AIoT ecosystem and strengthen our own cohesion to make sure we're all aligned and singing from the same songbook, if you like, and to reflect our ecosystem members' view on the opportunities and challenges and solutions that Canada should be looking at. And of course, ultimately, it's to drive government and industry policy. This whole initiative is driven by what we call the National Strategy Council, or NSC. And last thing that we offer, or we do for our ecosystem, is form partnerships and MOUs with industry associations, both national and international, and that's to help cross-pollinate through mutual learning and do some cross-marketing and open doors for our members in broader jurisdictions. So now the question is, given all of that, given what IoT is and what AIoT Canada does, how can we collaborate? And there are many areas, given that there are similarities between Canada and the Mediterranean region, not the least of which is that we're both maritime countries. In general, there's a number of ways of collaborating. There's the ability to provide technologies and products and services, to comprise solutions, to adopt solutions from each other regions, have joint innovation efforts, and also joint governance and policies innovations as well. But to be specific, there's all these areas, all these sectors that we can potentially collaborate on, but I'll just cover 3 or 4 of them in the interest of time. So there's certainly commonality in agriculture. Canada is very strong in that, primarily in grains, canola, pulses. And the Mediterranean region is also, very prominent in agriculture, fruit, vegetable, olives. And we have a common challenges that can be addressed by precision agriculture, or some people call it smart agriculture. And AIoT, through its sensors, actuators, and generative AI, is front and center in application in precision agriculture. So things like nutrient optimization, pesticide optimization, water management, which is especially important in some of the Mediterranean regions, autonomous cultivation and harvesting, and a few other things where AIoT has a big application. Of course, there's the marine and ocean economy. Common challenges and opportunities there include environmental protection and sustainability, harvesting from the ocean, so food, minerals, energy, and of course, shipping and logistics. Again, AIoT is prominent there, applicable to monitoring water and water temperature and quality, localizing marine flora and fauna and managing that, marine farming. There's now a new industry coming along which produces and applies autonomous and remote control marine drones and vehicles. That's another technological area where we can collaborate. Of course, marine shipping, monitoring, localization technologies around that. And also port monitoring and physical security around shipping ports. And of course, as already mentioned by Roberta, we do have an ocean supercluster, which helps companies innovate in this area. Another common interest is environmental and climate change, and we can address that through circular economy or in general clean tech technology. Again, AIoT is very much applicable there for a number of things that are within the circular economy. So things like materials and products tracking and repurposing, maintenance and repairs, maybe through digital twins, which will reduce the amount of new production and energy use, waste detection, collection, and recycling. For example, only sending out collection trucks when there is actual bins full of waste instead of just randomly or periodically sending trucks, which uses more energy. And there's other applications where AIoT also has prominence. Renewable energy, which is related to the previous one. We have common challenges, as does the rest of the world. We know that they can be addressed through solar, wind, and tidal electrical generation, distributed through a smart grid. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself. AIoT, sensors and actuators, and AI are front and center in making this possible by controlling the loading and steering energy to where it's actually needed, microgrid management within a neighborhood or a set of houses or parts of the city, multimodal producer on-ramping. What that means is, how do you manage and on-ramp energy from these different modes of generation, whether it's solar or wind or tidal. There's a certain amount of management that's required there with sensing and AI to do that. And there's a few other areas in this renewable energy space where AI applies, where we can collaborate. Given the time constraint, I'm not going to go into this in detail, but clearly we're both all industrial regions, and we can address for Industry 4.0 and Smart Factory, where AI is definitely a player. And we do have a supercluster which enables companies to innovate in this area called Engine, as already previously mentioned. So let me ask you, or you may ask me, why AIoT? Don't we already have enough ecosystems to deal with? There's a whole bunch of different ecosystems which I show here. I show them separate, but in reality, they all overlap. These are market sector ecosystems. Well, if you look at the economy, you can look at it as a layered cake. So these are like the top ecosystems where a value is created, but they depend on a whole bunch of other ecosystems or areas that enable that. So hardware, business models, software, governance, cybersecurity, all of that underpins and enables these sectors. And then at the bottom, but not least important, the most important, is the whole community, professionals that and labor, talent and labor that enable those layers. The question is, well, where does AIoT fit into all of this? And my claim is that AIoT is an interlay between the market sector and the technology ecosystem layer. In other words, AIoT ecosystem depends on the technology layer, but also drives innovation down into that layer. And AIoT ecosystem, or the interlay, enables the upper layers, the market sectors, which actually produce the final value for society and economy. Okay, so that is my overview of how we can collaborate, or where we can collaborate. The question is, how can we do that? And clearly, there's a few things that come to mind. We can have shared events, webinars between Canada and the Mediterranean region to connect, interact, and learn, just like we do with our association. We can refer to each other, AIoT providers, adopters, and innovators. And we can co-create and co-innovate and co-influence standards and policies around AIoT to both accelerate and enable its adoption, but also to mitigate some of the risks that come with AIoT, which is a whole nother story, which we don't have the time for. And of course, there's very much opportunity for cross-marketing and promotion. So thank you very much for letting me share my perspectives on our collaboration between Canada and the Mediterranean region, and specifically in the areas of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Walter. Very interesting. So, Christian, now the floor is yours.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I share my screen. Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thanks. My perspective would be a little different because I'm head of EU projects at the Canadian Chamber in Italy, and I'm also managing director at Novarecon, a small company based in Italy, and we mainly deal with research and development, research and innovation projects, and also with public funds. And so my perspective is the cooperation through public funding. So how public institutions and public funds can cooperation between private companies. So I will present you three main tools we can use to establish cooperation between Canadian and EU partners at different levels. And then I will also present you an example of cooperation which is based on public funding. So main tools will be Horizon Europe, which is the main research and innovation program for the European Commission. Then some examples of bilateral cooperation programs between Canada and some EU member states. And then some specific calls for proposals open to Canadian partners under different conditions. So first of all, Horizon Europe. Horizon Europe, as you may know, is the main European program to fund research and innovation projects. And recently, 3rd of July, Canada became an associated partner to Horizon Europe, maybe you have already heard about that, but what does it mean exactly? What does it mean, for example, to be an associated partner to Horizon Europe? It means that Canadian organizations, Canadian entities, no matter if they are, for example, companies, big companies, small and medium enterprises, or research organizations, or non-for-profit organizations, and so on, can be funded directly from the Horizon Europe program at the same conditions as the EU. And of course, this can happen because Canada will contribute to the budget of Horizon Europe in the next years. But then there's a specification, because Canada became associated to Pillar 2 of Horizon Europe. And I mean, you may know that Horizon Europe is made of 3 different pillars. The first one is about excellent science. Pillar number 2 is about global challenges, and pillar number 3 is more related to innovation. And so pillar number 2 is part of the Horizon Europe program devoted to fund collaborative projects, collaborative research and innovation projects in different domains, as you can see: health, culture and creativity, security, digital, industry and space, climate, energy and mobility, food, and so on. So basically, all kind of topics, all kind of research and innovation projects can be presented under Pillar 2. And the most important thing is that, as I said before, now all the Canadian entities can participate as full partner and can get direct funding from the European Commission. So in the past, the cooperation was possible, but then Canadian partners have to find the funding from their own national authorities, while now they don't have to go under different bureaucratic procedures. They have to present the project like European partners, European entities, and they can be funded directly by the European Commission. As I said, the Pillar 2 is for collaborative research. So basically, projects presented under Pillar 2 are projects with a good number of different partners, usually from 6 to 10 or 12 or 15, in different European and non-European countries, and also different kind of actors. So sometimes you have projects with universities together with public institutions like, I don't know, municipalities or regions, and also companies, big companies, startups, and so on. But then Horizon Europe is wider than just pillar number 2, and Canadian partners can also participate in the other Horizon Europe pillars, but under different conditions. So for example, in pillar number 1, pillar devoted to research, basically, for researchers. Canadian researchers can apply, for example, for the Marie Curie program or for the European Research Council grants, and then they can set up research groups in Europe and be funded like a European researcher. And then for example, for companies, startups, SMEs, they can participate under pillar number 3, for example, in the European Innovation Council Accelerator program, which is the main program for small and medium enterprises. And they can participate, and you don't have to open a branch in the European Union in advance, but you can first present your project, and then if you get the funds, then you have the commitment with the European Commission to open a branch in one of the United States, member state, Europe member states. So those are opportunities still open for all the Canadian organizations. Then the second second cooperation tool I want to present you is the bilateral cooperation. Several EU member states have bilateral funding schemes with Canada. Here, just of examples, for example, the Canada-Italy Innovation Award. This is basically not to fund research and innovation. It's to fund research and innovation activities, but the costs you can cover with the Innovation Award, for example, are just travels for EU companies to travel to Canada and to meet physically their partners and to discuss about the project and to develop it and so on and so forth. But for example, in other cases like the Canada and Spain collaborative fund, you can present a proper project and have, for example, $500,000 Canadian dollar, if I'm not wrong, to develop your projects together with your Spanish partner, and the Spanish company will have the funds directly from their national country. Then, for example, there's a research fund from in France to foster the cooperation between France and Canada. This is, for example, this is focused on the universities, so it's for the cooperation in the research field among universities. But as I said, those are just examples. Here you go if you want and see in the link the examples, but then you have several other bilateral schemes, for example, between Germany and Canada or other EU member states. And then there are also some specific programs, some specific calls funded by the European Commission, allowing Canadian partners to participate. For example, probably the main program is the Eureka research and innovation. I don't know if you can see now the screen with the website. Can you see the website?
Not the website, but we see your presentation.
You can see. Okay, sorry. Maybe. Okay, now I can share. Okay, now you can see the website,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. So Eureka is one of the biggest public network for international cooperation in research and development. A lot of countries participate in this program. You can see, for example, here in your country, here you can see the number of countries participating in this program. Mainly, of course, from the EU, but then you have, for example, other countries such as, for example, Argentina, Chile, Canada, and many others, South Africa, and so on. And here you can find specific programs to fund research and development projects. And Canada is participating in this program, and you can see here opportunities for Canadian organizations, for Canadian enterprises, and you can apply and have some funding for your innovation. You can also have some networking services to search for some partners for your project. You can also have advice from the Eureka experts. And then as a Canadian partner, for example, you can apply to all these different kind of funding schemes, and you can present your research and development project not Eureka member country organization. Then coming back to the presentation. Okay, then the last opportunity I want to present you today, and then I will go to the example, is NGI Sargasso. NGI is a big EU initiative for it stands for Next Generation Internet. It's a big EU initiative with several different projects funded under this initiative. And NGI Sargasso is a specific section of this initiative aimed at fostering the cooperation between the EU and North America, so Canada and the US. And here you can see again. Sorry, okay. Now you can see probably the screen. Okay, it's what you can obtain from Sargasso, some funds up to 100,000 euro, free funding. It's a grant, so it's not a loan. You don't have to give the money back. And then also a 9-month capacity building and mentoring program to support the development of your idea. It's all in the field of internet and cybersecurity and so on. And they have some open calls every year, probably. Now there's a new open call, the 5th open call open, for example, till the end of November. But then there are, as you can see here, a lot of open calls during the year, and you can see and try to apply. And so I come to my example of cooperation through public funding, and it's an example to my company. We applied to one of the NGI Sargasso open call, more or less some months ago. I don't remember exactly the period. And then we had a positive feedback from Sargasso, and we started the projects in September, a couple of weeks ago. And these are, in my opinion, the main aspects of this cooperation. First of all, networking, a great effort by the Canadian Chamber in Italy and also the organization, and I'd like to thank them, of course, for the support they give us in finding a good partner for this call. And so, first of all, applying to this kind of opportunities is a great way to start a cooperation, to do a bit of networking, to get in touch with different associations in other countries and so on. And then you can also start a cooperation without public funding, but just because you meet the right people and the right companies. And then they give us the opportunity to share ideas and technologies with our Canadian partner, called Mind in a Box. And then also, of course, funds to develop the idea. It's an initial grant, of course, 100,000 euro to develop a first prototype of our idea, but also to do a bit of marketing analysis, to do the business plan and so on. And also they give you coaching and networking opportunities to meet, for example, the other winners of the grant, and to start with them, share your projects and your ideas and so on. Just a couple of words about Galicia. The project we presented is about basically cybersecurity and the risks posed by generative AI on digital resilience of infrastructures and other, for example, industry sectors and so on. So we will develop something to increase the reliability of generative AI content, especially software, through our project. So this is, in my opinion, example of the public funding supporting the starting of new cooperation opportunities between different countries, in our case between Canada and Italy. And that's it, basically. Again, thanks to ASCAME for the organization of the webinar, and again thanks to the AIoT Canada, Salvatore Cimino in particular, and then also Canadian Chamber and Sergio Passariello for this great opportunity. Thanks a lot.